Welcome back to the new video series, Blockchain Crypto DeFi at Work, Keep or Get a Job the Next 20 Years. And again, this series is not meant for the vets in the cryptocurrency, blockchains, or DeFi, decentralized finance space. This is meant for noobs who don't know a whole lot about it, of kind of seeing the scrolling ticker at the bottom of the finance channels about Bitcoin. I've heard a couple of news items or stories and just kind of hear those terms thrown around, but don't really know what it involves and what it's about, or about how it's about to overtake every aspect of their life. So this is meant to, get them up to speed, and we're covering some definition initially here, the first several videos. So then we can talk about how people can potentially pivot this information and this technology into giving them a little bit more job security at work and on the job and in their career. And so again, I will link the playlist to this video series itself, which you should go back and listen to the prior videos. It has a lot of good information and definition. This is meant to be a safe space for you where you can pause it, read through it, replay it, and just kind of, get information that will hopefully spur you on to get additional information to better educate yourself to make you more marketable in the job and in the workforce. So before we get going, again, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, click the alert button so that you're notified of additional content. And again, like I said, I'll link this playlist for this video series, as well as the crypto currency playlist that I'm curating from other content creators on YouTube that do a good job in terms of providing more in-depth education than this. So we're going to cover number 15 here. And again, this is going to be a short one, but it's something that you're going to hear a lot of right now because there's Ripple and XRP are in the news, and not necessarily for good reasons, but it could be a good reason if there's clarity given for what this particular coin or token looks like in terms of whether it's a token or a coin or a currency, or really a currency, or whether it's a security. And that's what's being weighed out right now with that SEC lawsuit. So keep an eye on this, but you're going to hear a lot of things with Ripple, and one of those things is called ODL, or on-demand liquidity. So right now, the current SWIFT banking system, I'm not going to get into that. That's, if you want to send money to a relative over in Sweden through your bank or wire transfer, it could take you 7, 10, 14 days, right? There's fees involved. It's just super slow. And what also has to happen with all these international banking systems and central banks and banks, they have to have currency in what's called Nostro Vostro. Basically, the U.S. has X number of dollars set aside to address that transfer of currency with those transactions and exchanges. And again, I mentioned it's extremely slow, extremely expensive. And what XRP has done, and this is why I think that they're, once they get clarity on this, if they get clarity in the US at least, the whole world views it as currency. The US doesn't right now, and at least the SEC. There's been other the Treasuries has ruled it a currency. I'm not going to get into that whole thing, right? But again, the reason that they're super competitive right now and long term is that they have a solution that addresses the on-demand liquidity, meaning that they can, for international settlements like that, it takes place in 3 seconds. So if I want to send $50 or $50,000 to somebody overseas, it'll happen in 3 to 5 seconds max, and it's very, very inexpensive, couple of cents on that transaction, and it can handle, I think 15,000 transactions per second or per 3 seconds, something like that. There's stats out there that you can, track down on your own. But that's game changing in terms of the amount of liquidity that these banks now and these entities have to have, in that Nostro Vostro system. So anyway, a lot to be said there. Let me just read this through, and then I'll wrap this up. But again, you're going to hear this a lot, but it's very, very interesting. And I think, in my mind at least, and I do hold XRP, but this is where the future is over Bitcoin and Ethereum, just based on the technologies they use, how slow they are, and how expensive they are. But it's yet to be seen. So on-demand liquidity is a solution that Ripple developed to facilitate cross-border payments without pre-funding, which is the Nostro Vostro. The latter refers to a situation where one of the parties involved in the transaction is required to make a cash deposit to facilitate the transfer of funds before they are cleared. Ripple leverages the digital asset XRP to supply the ODL for its customers. So again, they have partnerships with banks and central banks all over the world. They're huge in Asia, and again, the US is a little bit slow to the game here, but that's what ODL is, or on-demand liquidity. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I know I've been running a little bit longer than I of like. But again, if you can do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the alert button, share this video with anybody who might find it of use and value, especially if they're just getting started in this whole space, and you you know, maybe want to prep them before you have a conversation with them to watch this series. This might be a good opportunity for you to do that and leverage me to do it for you on your behalf, and then you can have a more in-depth conversation with them. That's going to be it. We'll see you on the next video, and we'll talk to you soon.